Happy opening day. Welcome to OffBeat, presented by North Shore 9 and FanDuel. My name is Alex Stumpf. Yesterday, I was a real pessimist, and I gave you three reasons why the Pirates weren't going to make the postseason, which was the whole goal, this offseason. Period, full stop. Today, in honor of opening day, this is the glass half full. This is only good things are going to happen. I'm going to list three reasons why the Pirates are going to make the postseason. And the first is the most obvious. It's the strength of the team. It's what I said yesterday. It's the starting pitching. This is potentially one of the best starting rotations the Pirates have had in many a Yinzer's lifetime. Paul Skenes is coming off of a Cy Young year. Mitch Keller, he's really solid, obviously. Bubba Chandler, Rookie of the Year contender. I said that I thought Braxton Ashcraft has the ability to be a number 2 starter for this rotation. Jared Jones will be coming back. Carmen Mlodzinski, I think he's going to fare better. We're not even getting into like the Hunter Barcos, Urquidy, maybe seeing Dotel or Kelly later in the year. I just want to focus on those top 6. Because according to Steamer, those 6 pitchers are projected to have 14.3 WAR. That's a pretty significant number because whenever you look at the last 40 years of Pirates baseball, only 3 teams, 3, have been able to get that much WAR out of their starting rotation. Those 3 teams, 2015, 1992, and 1991. Candidly, those are probably the 3 best teams in many of our lifetimes. Like I said, many a Yinzer, the last 40 years, if you were to say what were the 3 best teams the Pirates have assembled, it was probably those 3 teams. That's what the Pirates have as their potential upside for this rotation. And yeah, I talked about maybe they don't have enough depth, but the top of it is just so high. And whenever you have Jared Jones coming back mid-season, in a perfect world, late May, early June, whenever he's eligible to come off of the 60-day IL, it would be a real big boost. This is the strength of the team. It was the strength of the team last year. They were one of the best rotations in baseball last year. And Skenes is only a year stronger, where he maybe doesn't have to do as many 5 and dives in the middle of the year to manage his innings. He could be pushed a little further. Where Mitch Keller is just solid. Where Bubba Chandler isn't going to be spending most of the year in the minor leagues. Where Braxton Ashcraft isn't going to be splitting time between the rotation and the bullpen. Like, there's just a lot of ways where I look at this rotation and think they could get better than what we saw last year. Last year's rotation was 13.9 WAR for starting pitchers in general, according to Fangraphs. So that 14.3 for the top 6, I think it might be a little conservative, but okay, there you go. That is a really solid grouping. I don't need to explain to you why Paul Skenes is good at baseball at this point. I don't need to explain to you how Bubba Chandler throwing 99 or Braxton Ashcraft whipping off those sliders in the zone is good. That was really what the biggest strength of this team was always going to be. I think they're positioned well. The biggest weakness last year, obviously, was the offense. It was historically bad. And I remember going to the winter meetings and being told, we are going to add bats, plural. This is going to be a better offense. Just wait and see. Ryan O'Hearn, I think he's a great addition. Brandon Lowe, I think he's a very solid addition at a position where they don't have a lot of certainty right now. I'm personally not high on Ozuna. I do not like the signing. I would have much rather it been Suarez. Make it work out with Suarez, either get into that process sooner or whatever. Or Jorge Polanco, be more aggressive there. Like, there are different hitters I would have invested that money in the Marcell Ozuna. I probably would have invested in a starting pitcher over Marcell Ozuna also. But, he's projected to be okay. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe I'll be wrong and he could still be an impact hitter. He was on an MVP ballot of mine not too long ago. But I just think the game, I don't like it. But still, it doesn't get away. I'm veering away from the actual point, which is this offense is better. Even if like someone like Henry Davis doesn't, come together offensively, even if Spencer Horwitz turns out to be just a really good platoon, even if Jared Triolo isn't able to do what we saw in August and September over the course of a full year, I just see a much higher floor here because of the veterans that they added. And yeah, if O'Neal Cruz has that big breakout season finally, boy, would that take this a step further. If Brian Reynolds regains his all-star form, that would take this a step further. But I don't think you need as many ifs to break the Pirates' way offensively than maybe last year. Those coin flips of like, well, maybe so-and-so will put it together or so-and-so will break out. And last year, I have a hard time figuring out what were the feel-good stories for the offense. Maybe Horwitz, after he came back, he had that slow start, just the second half that he had. That would be great to see replicated over the course of a full season. If not, I still see a much higher floor because of O'Hearn, because of Lowe. This was a team last year that drastically stunk against fastballs. And they got two really good left-handed fastball hitters. It is absolutely what they need for this offense. It is what they need for this ballpark. I don't think, these guys are going to hit, 30, 40 homers each or anything like that. But, just give good at-bats, be able to have that extra base power. If you have a runner on first base, it's not going to need to be two batters to bring him home. You can do it in one fell swing, one fell swoop. That's what they need to do. That's what I think they can do more this year. So, yes, I think the offense will be better. It was what held them back last year. They just need to be average. That's the grand thing of it all. If this is an average offense with this starting rotation, I think this is a playoff club. We're going to take a quick break here, throw it over to Cody for a minute, and then we're going to talk about the last reason why this is a postseason team.
This episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack hydration sponsor. IQ Bar protein bars, IQ Mix hydration mixes, and IQ Joe mushroom coffees are the delicious, low-sugar, brain and body fuel you need to win your day. The Ultimate Sampler Pack is a great way for you to try all IQ Bar products and flavors. You get 9 IQ bars, 8 IQ Mix sticks, and 4 IQ Joe sticks. All IQ Bar products are clean label certified and entirely free from gluten, dairy, soy, GMOs, and artificial ingredients. With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. The Ultimate Sampler Pack includes all 3. My personal favorites so far have been the almond butter chip and the iced tea lemonade hydration mix. It's just really full of flavor. I love starting my day with it, and I couldn't imagine starting my day with anything else other than IQ Bar products. Right now, IQ Bar is offering our podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including the Ultimate Sampler Pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text MLB to 64,000. That's MLB 64000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
The last one, look, I want this podcast to be smart. I want this to be an informed look at this team. Something that, can come with good analysis, something that could come with access to the clubhouse, the stuff that I know that I can bring and will bring this year. The last point is just there's high-end talent. There are just a couple guys who are, as the kids say, him. Like Paul Skenes is him. Connor Griffin has the potential to be him. Jared Jones is, I put him in the him category. Same with, Braxton and Bubba. There are just finally some hymns on this team. There's so many hymns they became a they. That's what this team needs. At the end of the day, the Bill James model of, if you have 26 average ball players, you don't have an average team, you have a really good team. That's great in theory, and I agree to that. But you know what else could make a great team? Is having enough great players. And I think that was something that was absent from this team for a couple years. Like the first couple years where I was covering this team as a full-time job, there was Brian Reynolds, and that was pretty much it. Like there was not a ton of really high-end impact players on like that 2020, that 2021 team, that 2022 team. And you saw the results that came from it. And then whenever a couple guys started to emerge, it became a deeper club. And then I think what Paul Skenes offers this team in terms of just urgency was very much needed this offseason. This is a team that got better, and it'd be hard to ignore that they are trying to get better while they have the best right-handed pitcher on the planet on their roster. Paul Skenes has the ability to potentially go down as one of the greatest pitchers in franchise history, if not the greatest pitcher in franchise history. And 2 years of 70-something wins with him just isn't enough. So they improved the team. Brandon Lowe, Ryan O'Hearn, they could have him qualities. That's good. Marcell Ozuna, there is a potential him there also. O'Neal Cruz absolutely could be him. He might be the second biggest him on this team behind Paul Skenes. I am saying sentences that, thank God this is a podcast, because if I was writing it out, like I'd have so many blue lines, blue squiggles under what I'm saying. Like this isn't, to quit using pronouns for nouns like this. But yes, there are enough guys here that I think can impact the team, that could impact the club in a positive way to make them a competitor, because it is the people who end up winning games. And I think there is just more talent in this clubhouse than there has been in years past. And you could say that from a depth perception, or depth perspective, I guess, not perception, depth perspective, yes, but also just the high-end talent, the guys who can just every once in a while win you a baseball game by themselves. I think there is more high-end talent on this roster than there has been in the past. I think that'll make a difference. And if you're trying to get from mid-70s to mid-80s, win-wise, that's a win once every 2 weeks. That is once every 2 weeks, someone just takes the ball and wins the game for you. I don't think that's unreasonable. And we're going to see. Thank you so much for listening to OffBeat, presented by FanDuel and North Shore 9. It's opening day. Anything could happen. Enjoy the start of the championship series. We will be back here Friday to recap that first game. Talk to you then.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in, whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube. If you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.